What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Off the Dribble, featuring myself, Ash, my co-host Chetan. Today we have a bit of a different style of episode for you guys. So, a lot of both of our friends don't really watch that much basketball on a day-to-day basis until this time of year rolls around. So, rather than allow them and some of the other more casual fans to sound stupid talking about basketball during the playoffs, we thought might as well give you guys an NBA playoff guide per conference to kind of give you guys like a short breakdown of each team that's going to be in the playoffs. For both conferences, we're just going to take the two most interesting teams for the 7-8 line.
Mhm.
So we chose Clippers and Suns. We're not going to talk about the Warriors and the Blazers. But if they make it, we'll bring them up when we talk about the playoffs. But we'll start with the Clippers. So, Chetan, do you want to talk about who you think might be an X factor in for the Clippers? Maybe their floor, their ceiling, any other points you want to bring up?
I think for the Clippers, ceiling and floor, in my opinion, would relatively honestly be the. I wouldn't say it would be the same because like if they can get the 7th seed, then they could play the Spurs and they have a better chance of beating the Spurs and obviously beating the Thunder. Still, I don't think they beat the Spurs. I think they would lose in like 5, maybe 6 if they can win 2 games. Um, X factor, in my opinion, though, for them is if like this is again like they have to be healthy. I think if obviously they have Kawhi. Kawhi's been playing great basketball this year, like statistically, like probably one of his like most efficient seasons. He's been amazing on both ends. They have Garland. He's great, offensively what he can bring. He fits into the system. I think if Mathurin is healthy and he's really like on go, I think that's like a really dynamic scorer that you kind of need in the playoffs. A lot of teams like struggle in the first round because their best player sometimes might have an off night and you need somebody else or like 2 other people that can get you going. And Mathurin has that ability to do it. And he has a playoff experience with the Pacers. Like he's been there with the Pacers. He's been on a run. So he knows what it takes. So I think he's their X factor. But again, like their matchups, their highest that they can do is get the 7th seed and you're versing 2 of the best teams in the league either way. So I think it's going to be really hard for them to get past the first round.
Yeah, I agree. Floor, I think getting swept by either a 1 or 2 seed. I think ceiling could be a second round appearance. I agree. I wouldn't pick them to beat the Spurs,
Yeah.
but they have given the Spurs trouble this season. So I mean, if they were to take, I wouldn't be surprised if they took a game or two.
Mhm.
And for me, I mean, we should talk about how good their turnaround has been. They were 6 in like 21, and they ended up. I think they're going to end up probably 43 and 39 or something
Yeah.
around that line. So incredibly impressive turnaround. Ty Lue said he'd go 35 and 20. He's about to go 35 and 20.
Mhm.
And Kawhi, I think if Luka doesn't win his appeal, I think he'll be first team All NBA due to the 65 game rule. But he's had an amazing season regardless. I think their X factor though would probably be Darius Garland. And
Also, yeah.
and I think like I love the Ben Mathurin pick, but I honestly I'm more confident at this point that Ben Mathurin have a good playoffs than Darius Garland. I mean, Darius
Mhm.
Garland has not had a really good playoff series ever. He's been on and off. He's been hurt or like whatever. He hasn't really been the best playoff performer. If he can step his game up and sort of play how he had been playing for the past 2 weeks before he got hurt again, he was, I think he's shooting like 48% from the field, 40% from three. He was doing really, really well. If he can get back to that, then I still don't know if they could win a series, but I think they could push the Thunder and maybe the Spurs, like maybe the most, maybe game 6.
Yeah, that's a good take. I think that he in my opinion would play better because he's playing alongside Kawhi. Like Dimich is like he's good in the playoffs, but I feel like Kawhi like is a different type of player, so it takes a little bit less pressure off of him. So I feel like that would allow him to play a little bit more free. But that's also somebody that needs to definitely play good for that team to try even to have a chance to make it out the first round.
The tough part is, bro, against Wemby, they would start Brooke Lopez or something.
Yeah, that's just like
Yeah, it's I don't know. If they didn't trade Zubox, I don't think Zubox is like all that,
yeah,
but he's better than Brooke Lopez. So maybe
agreed.
that would have been. But then again, you wouldn't have Darius, so it's a catch rate.
Yeah.
But we can move on to the Suns. And you can go again. Like you can give me the same sort of things we gave for the Clippers.
My floor is obviously gets swept in the first round. Ceiling is a second round appearance. I don't think they can do more than that. I think they had a better season than a lot of people thought before the season started. again, they didn't have Jalen Green for majority of the season, so they were able to pick up the slack. Dillon Brooks has had a pretty good season offensively and still a great defender. So like they've done what they've done. Jordan Knott's been a great thing for them. But again, like D-Book, in my opinion, like he's a great player. He's an all-star, but like I don't know, it's like not like a he's great in the playoffs too. Like he'll give you numbers, but it's just like not somebody that I think that can go over and just like take over a game anymore. Like
Mhm.
like maybe 3-4 years ago, that's somebody that people would look at and be like, all right, like he can go out there and drop 20 in the fourth quarter if it need be. But like now you don't like he can give you 30 in a game, but it's just not like that level of like performance anymore. And like, are you trusting Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks as your second and third like options in the playoffs? Like they really haven't done anything. Jalen Green, I don't think he hasn't really played amazing since he's been back. He's had some good games, some bad games too. So I don't know. It's gonna be hard for them to beat the Spurs if they keep the 7th seed. It's gonna be really hard for them to keep up with you guys if they fall to the 8th seed and have to play you guys in the 1-8 matchup. So they've had success against the Spurs a little bit. They kind of know how to guard Wemby, kind of, I guess. Like they said, like Dillon Brooks, he says he knows how to be
It is a
physical.
good matchup.
It's a good matchup, but like again, like I think the Spurs don't lose in the first round to a Suns team, in my opinion. Maybe they take it to 6, but again, like I think there's a possibility, like if they play the best basketball they play, they can go in the second round.
Yeah, I think I disagree. I would say the Clippers have a second round ceiling because like I truly think Kawhi can win a series on his own.
Mhm.
I agree with you. I think the Suns are. I think Devin Booker is not one of those players that really comes to mind as like scary. I guess like you can kind of pencil him in for 20 points and 5 assists.
Yeah,
He'll probably maybe get 25 and 3 assists, but like he's kind of within that range. He's not really a game breaker like someone like I don't know, the top 10 players in the league who can really like sort of push the needle and like really make a team suffer. I don't know. I don't really see Devin Booker that way. So
yeah.
I'd say like first round exit is almost guaranteed for them. They do match up really really well with the Spurs for
Mhm.
some reason, and that's why my X factor because I think that'll be the matchup. So my X factor is going to be Dillon Brooks.
Yeah.
And again, if he can give Wemby more trouble, I'm not a believer, and we'll talk about this later, of Stephon Castle consistently shooting 40% from three. I
Agreed.
saw I saw him like for the first 60% of the season not like be able to shoot anything. So I'm not a believer. I don't think Dylan Harper suddenly become 50% shooter from three. I don't think that exists. Um, and I do think that experience matters.
Mhm.
So if you can take out their best player and you're forcing Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and De'Aaron Fox, all three whom I have no reason to trust in the playoffs, to try to beat you, then it could get interesting. Because like you said, if we were to rank playoff performers, potential playoff performers in the series, it would be Wemby 1, but Devin Booker would definitely be 2.
Yeah.
So if you can get that and Jalen Green gives you something, like he didn't give the Rockets anything last year in the playoffs. If you can give him something, then maybe it'll work out. But I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I agree. It's a hard thing to imagine that happening.
Mm-hmm. But I think those two are the only like sort of low ceiling team. I think the rest of the top 6, the
Mhm.
ceiling is going to be pretty. Oh, maybe not the Lakers, but
Yeah,
everyone else, the ceiling could be pretty a little higher than just a first
yeah.
round exit. And I'll start with the Timberwolves.
Mhm.
The 6th seed, slightly disappointing regular season. This is your team,
Yeah.
Chetan. Am I going to hear optimism?
Maybe a little bit of optimism. I think obviously floor is I would say first round exit, like with their matchup given right now with the Nuggets. Like the Nuggets are a great team. They're very hot right now too. They've been playing amazing basketball. But I think our ceiling is again like Western Conference Finals. I think that's something that is possible if we're able to win a first round matchup. I think we can get there again.
Yes.
Again, it starts with us beating the Nuggets. Our X factor, in my opinion, it really depends, like series by series, for me, because like one series, like for example, like Julius Randle can play good against the Nuggets, but he doesn't really match up well against a team like the Thunder because you
Yeah.
guys are like really handsy on defense. You guys play like really pressure defense as compared to the Nuggets who don't, which Julius doesn't struggle as much against. But overall, I think if we can consistently get Jaden involved in the offense, I think that opens up so much for Ant because in the playoffs, we can't rely on Ant like over and over again to initiate offense. Like you need somebody else to kind of initiate offense or take some pressure off of him a little bit. And Jaden's when the ball's in his hands and he's like able to get his shot going, like that little mid range, that little like going downhill, he's pretty efficient. He's averaging like 15 a game, shooting 40% from 3-2. I think that's going to help a lot in the playoffs if that carries over because he's like hasn't been as consistent of like a corner 3-point shooter in the playoffs. So if he's able to do that, like you can't really double Ant as much anymore.
Yeah.
Again, it's like we're pretty injured right now, but players are coming back. Jaden just came back last game. I think we'll probably not play him the rest of the season. But I'm pretty intrigued to see how we do against like the Nuggets in the first round if that ends up happening. And then if we end up winning like a series between us versus the Lakers or the Rockets, like I think that's a lot more of a winnable series compared to the Nuggets. So if we're able to get past the first round, like the second round, I think would be
the second round being Spurs.
The Spurs I think, and we match up pretty well against the Spurs in my opinion too. And that's kind of when experience comes in handy when you're playing a more experienced team. So I feel like we have the edge on them, but it'll be interesting. I have optimism though. Like Ant's one of those players, like I said, kind of what we weren't saying with D-Book, like he moves the needle if you really need him to. Like he can take over a game. Like he's been clutch this year. Like when the ball is in his hands, good things are happening. One of the better 3-point shooters in the league, like still has the ability to get downhill. So I think we'll be fine as long as he's healthy, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's the key, right? Like
I'm Jaden's X factor, like no, but like again, like it's obviously like our team revolves around. Like I think we're one of the teams where like we revolve around like our star as much as like any other team in the league.
Yeah, it's you and Denver, I think is like But 100% agree with most of what you said. But I'll add like the Ant's health might be the biggest story going into playoffs because if he's 100%, bro, you guys match up really well. I know this season the Nuggets have kind of had your number in the regular season, but in the playoffs, you guys have really, really matched up well with them.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I mean, that was with like Jokic was having trouble with Cat. Maybe he wouldn't have as much trouble with just Gobert and Randall. But I mean, if Caruso can bother him, who knows? Randall can maybe bother him. But I think in a season of inconsistencies, if you guys can put together like 8, 9, 10 games, it could really go a long way. And you guys could. I would be really interested to see a series of the two Wolves in San Antonio. Like. Mm-hmm. I think the Spurs would get past the Suns, but again, once you run into those teams like Denver and Minnesota, Denver and both these we'll talk about later, the experience battle is so hard to win.
Yeah.
And we found that out the hard way when we played Luka. Yep. But those series are very interesting. So I'd love to see it. Ceilings for sure, Wisconsin finals. I think we might. I think you guys might not match up the best with us.
Agreed.
So I think that might end there. But for a 6 seed, it's a pretty interesting path.
I agree. I think there's ways for us to get to like a decent spot, but again, like the Western Conference Finals shouldn't be the goal for the team because like 2 Western Conference Finals back to back. But if we go to the Western Conference Finals and we take you guys to like 6 or 7 and we don't,
that could be interesting.
That could be a little bit more interesting to see what happens in the offseason. I still think some changes need to be made regardless of like whatever happens this season because like we said, ceiling is Western Conference Finals. Like the only way nothing happens, I think I would be fine with is if we win a championship. And like clearly, we both think that's not happening when we said the ceiling.
It would take a lot to go right. It would take like the Thunder losing in the second round for you guys to win the championship.
Yeah, but I think it would be really interesting. Like the West is in the top 6, especially they're in it's an interesting spot, especially with the teams we're about to talk about next too.
Yeah. But maybe this team would have been interesting if we talked about them 2 weeks ago, but maybe not as much anymore. The Lakers, they're currently in the 4. I really think they have a big chance to end up in the 5.
Yeah, they're tied right now for the 4-5 is tied.
Yeah. So this is gonna actually, I take my Ant comment back because what I'm reading as of recent on Luka, and I'll start with the Lakers for this one, but is that treatment he's getting in Spain, it's so he can come back for game 2 of the first round.
Oh, wow.
And if he comes back and he's actually good, then this is a whole different conversation. I think for the purposes of this conversation, let's assume that he will not be back to his full potential because we've seen players try to play through that injury and it just hasn't gone well.
Mhm.
And for me, there's no way they win a playoff round.
I
Like
agree.
that without Reeves and Luka, that team is trash. They lost to the Mavericks. They're terrible. Like LeBron actually played pretty well in that game, but again, like it's LeBron, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes. Like I'm not. There's no way I don't even know if they'd win a game. That team is really, really bad.
Yeah.
So I would say they have a lower ceiling than both the Clippers and the Suns. I think this is the
Mhm.
lowest ceiling, unfortunately, in the playoffs because of injuries. But I mean, there's no way this team wins more than 2 games.
I agree. Like both your two best scorers and two best creators kind of go down. Like it's pretty impossible to make that up. I don't think a 40-year-old LeBron is gonna help win a playoff series, let alone maybe he can win one game, but it's gonna be hard because you're versing like the Rockets, who like we'll talk about the Rockets, but they're not an amazing team, but they still have some talent. So it's you can't really compete with
Durant's
that.
the scrub, bro.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate. Like we probably have a little bit different conversations if they were healthy. And again, if come to find out that I don't know Austin Reeves' timeline either. So
Earliest is late second round.
yeah, so if we come to find out that Luka is like healthy by second game of the first round, then we'll have different conversations maybe a little bit. But like for now, like I don't really see them making it past the first round at all.
Yeah, and we can move on to the team that we think will win that game.
Yeah.
And this starts the interesting teams. The Timberwolves were interesting too. The Lakers kind of took a little break, but this starts a run of interesting teams. And Houston is really, really interesting because they were really bad like a month ago.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant decided to call his teammates dumb, and it was a whole mess.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're kind of playing interesting basketball, and Kevin Durant is playing at a second team All NBA level.
Yeah.
Amen Thompson is one of the best defenders in the league. Jabari Smith made 5 threes last game.
Mm-hmm.
Reed Shepard is actually shooting the ball well. Like they're all kind of bought in on defense, and Şengün's actually playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a ceiling for this team after all that, second round. There's no way. There's no way.
Because they have to play the Thunder in the.
I don't want to jinx it, bro, but that team specifically. Oh my god, no way. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard because again, like they don't have a proper initiator on offense. Reed Shepard's gonna struggle a lot if he's gonna have to play meaningful minutes. I don't really see Jabari Smith doing anything against like the Thunder defense. Like it's gonna be hard for him to get going. Like KD might be able to get his a little bit every now and then. You have Sengun, like what happened?
KD really struggles in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, so that you have that, and then like Sengun, like he's just whatever. I don't really think he's gonna do anything.
Yeah, after game 1, Sengun got top 5 player in the league shouts on national television, bro. Holy fall from grace.
Yeah, but like I think like if you have Reed on the court for like 30 minutes a game, it's gonna be hard to like even like initiate any sort of offense consistently. So right there, like you're not even gonna be able to get a proper like shot off or get into like your play that you want or the sets that you want. So it's gonna be a little hard. So I think, like you said, like it's their ceiling is second round and their floor is second round.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, they will 100% win a series and 100% lose a series.
It was a series, yeah.
That is really interesting.
Yeah,
and it begs the question. I guess we can talk about this a little further. Like, if you're the Rockets, what do you do? Like,
it's hard because
like, your offseason?
KD's 38. Like, how many more good years you got left in KD? Like,
But you probably have a Giannis trade sitting there with Şengün, Reed Shepard, and like 4 picks.
That's true. I think you might have to. You don't think you throw like? I think the Bucks might need a little bit more.
No, I think Giannis' value is lower than we think because of all the injuries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He does have a bunch of. I think a lot of these injuries this season, though, especially towards like the back end of the season, are like kind of BS.
Yeah, but think about it, bro. When's the last time he played a playoff game? Like he's missed so much time due to injury in the later part of seasons.
That is true. I think he's relatively healthy right now, though. Like he's not playing because of injury. He's not playing because he's just like the Bucks are just
they won't let him play.
They just won't let him play.
I would kick the tires on it though. I would see. I mean, if they want a man, then it's a no. But but I would kick the tires on it. I would see what they want. Mm-hmm. If they would take Şengün, Reed, and picks, then like I would do it.
I mean, Giannis is low key just like a man, but like 6'10" and like 10 times better.
Yeah.
So I would, and if you think that you, Yeah, I think if you think you can win the championship in like 2 years with Katie and Giannis, I think they do it.
You think they try to man?
Yeah,
Damn. I think that'd be a mistake. I don't think you try to build around KD's timeline. He's fucking gonna be 39.
yeah, or instead of trading Sengun, you build around like a pack. Because I don't know if the Bucks would even want Sengun. Like I think they would rather have Amen Thompson.
To build that'd be interesting actually. Play KD at the 3 and then play
Yeah,
Giannis at the 4, Sengun at the
or
5.
the five.
And you trade like Amen, Jabari, Tari,
Yeah,
Reed, something
yeah,
like basically the whole roster.
whole roster.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that's a possibility right there.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be interesting what happens in the offseason for them for sure because like it's a dream world where they win that when they if they get past the second round for a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. But moving on to the third of the three, let's say the three most favorable contenders, like the people everyone think are the three best teams in the West. We'll start with the Nuggets.
Yeah,
And for me, floor is a first round exit. I think the Timberwolves could beat them. Ceiling, NBA championship.
I agree.
They're turning it on at the best time.
Mhm.
They took us to 7 last year, so they could definitely beat us.
Yeah,
And they have, and a lot of people's opinion, the best player in the world. In my opinion, the second best player in the world.
Mhm.
I think he's having at this point. He has a lot of people who glaze, bro. So I think I've like tried to hate him in my head, but on the court, he's fantastic. Like he's like one of the best offensive players I've ever seen. And again, like what he did to Wemby in like the fourth quarter and overtime of that game, like he basically sunned him, bro. Like
Mhm.
it was Wemby went 1 for 8 from the fourth quarter onward. Jokic basically played perfect basketball. It was a clinic, and that experience edge would definitely. I would pick the Nuggets over the Spurs in that series,
Yeah.
and I think we match up pretty well with the Nuggets now. So I like us in that series, but I wouldn't be surprised if they beat us. And then
Mhm.
I think whoever wins the West wins the championship.
Yeah.
So I like the Nuggets. We haven't been doing the X Factors. I should probably start doing that now. But the X Factor for this series, I think, is Peyton Watson, or this team is Peyton Watson. Because last playoffs, he was terrible. He was like 20% from three. I thought he should be removed from the league. This season, he's shooting 40% from three. He really like worked in his bag in the offseason. I think, and like, we'll talk about this later, but I think there's low key like a possibility he gets traded for LeBron in the offseason. That's like yeah, but I think like he's the second best defender on that team, and I think he would be pretty cool in the Nuggets championship run.
Yeah. I think the same thing. Floor is first round exits. We can beat them, in my opinion. And championship is their ceiling. Like you said, like they took you guys to 7 last year. It was a close series. Like it was, they could have won. I mean, did get kind of blown out towards the end, but it's like the series itself was close.
Yeah.
I think their X factor, in my opinion, is Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray is able to consistently still do what he's didn't done in the regular season, like he's probably had the best season he's had statistically in the regular season. First time being an All Star this year too, so he's been amazing for them. If he can be really efficient and not turn the ball over and just give them like 25 a game, I think it's going to be really hard to beat them. And plus, like recently, Cam Johnson figured out how to shoot the ball from three. So
Yeah, I saw that. That's a big development.
yeah, so that adds a little bit of another dimension for the team. Aaron Gordon's healthy; he's back and healthy. So,
Dude, no one talks about how Aaron Gordon magically became the greatest 3-point shooter of all time.
he's such a good 3-point shooter. I don't
Yeah,
get
it's
how he is.
crazy.
He like makes everything. But he's back and healthy, so that's huge for them. So I think it's a very tough roster to beat. But again, they can lose in the first round if we beat them, or they can go all the way to the championship. But one way or the other, they're gonna have to play the Thunder for that to happen. So it's gonna be interesting to see if that comes to happen.
Yeah. Next will be the Spurs, the media's favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
The person who wanted the MVP unfortunately might end up finishing third. Crazy. Imagine begging for the MVP and finishing third. That's a bad look. Not to hate too much. The Spurs are a great team. They dominated Thunder in the regular season. The Nuggets kind of matched up better with them than we did.
Mm-hmm.
They also got us at like really weird times. We were injured, whatever. But yeah. I think we'll all these three teams have the same ceiling. I think floor was for me is second round exit for the Spurs, and ceiling is going to be NBA championship.
Yeah, agreed. Same thing. And for me, I think their X factor is Stefan Castle. I think that's probably the X factor for both of us. If he's able to continue shooting 40% from three, we all know how good he is on defense. He's an amazing perimeter defender. But if he could shoot continuously 40% from three, that would do wonders for that team again. I think another slight X factor too would be De'Aaron Fox. If he's able to get going a little bit in the playoffs, kind of find a rhythm and not be a horrendous shooter, that would help that team a lot, because you don't want to rely heavily on somebody like Dylan Harper, a rookie, to come in and like take over a game or something like that, or have to play heavy minutes in his first playoff series. But we'll see. I think, like you said, like they can go out there and win the championship, or they can go and lose to us in the second round if we make it past the first round, or the Nuggets if they have to play the Nuggets in the second round. Like I think getting through the West in general for any team, it's going to be hard.
It's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with Stefan Castle is definitely the X factor. If you can keep shooting like this, then they're going to be really. They might not lose, bro. It's perfect basketball when you're shooting like that.
Agreed.
A low key X factor for me is Luke Cornett, because Wemby plays 30 minutes a night. I remember like those old Thunder teams when Westbrook was the only player and when Westbrook was an MVP. The X factor was Samaj Christian. Do you know why? Because we would lose the point guard battle by so much when Russ sat on the bench that it would just turn the series around.
Yeah.
And Wemby plays low minutes traditionally. He plays between 28 and 31 minutes a game right now. He probably ramps it up to 36, but those 12 minutes for Luke Cornett as on the floor is going to be an opposing team's best chance to attack the rim. Yeah. And if he fucks up, then like the series could be shifted in those 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, nowadays teams can go on like 15-0 runs easily in like 12 minutes. They can go on like a 20-0 run or something like that, like 25 run pretty easily, and they can get back in the game like that.
Yeah. And Cornett's been really good for them this season, so I anticipate him playing the same. And he's won a championship, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was on the Celtics team. Yeah. So he knows what it takes. But
I think like that, even not having Wemby on the court, like even for like us when not having Gobert, your perimeter defenders have to play even better defense, because if they have Wemby, they know that if they get blown by or they miss an assignment, like Wemby's there. But like Cornette's obviously still like a decent rim protector, but like that adds more like pressure for perimeter defenders, and in the playoffs, like it's you gotta be locked in to consistently be able to do that. So it's gonna be hard. Like the whole team, when Wemby's off the floor, has to like play consistently locked in minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, as corny as I and maybe you think Wemby is, he's definitely a elite like competitor. Like he has like the weird like sort of like mental edge that it would take to like do the impossible or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm really interested to see how he handles the playoffs.
Yeah,
because there's been no exceptions. Everyone like suffers in their first playoff appearance, like one way or another. So it'd be really interesting for me to see if he can just break the exception. Because let's be honest, there's someone who could do it. It's probably him.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see that. That's where I think I would probably bet them to lose in the second round. But I mean, let's see if he can do it. It would be one of the greatest achievements ever.
Agreed. Yeah.
And finally, the Thunder, wire to wire number 1 seed. I think the 7th team in NBA history would ever do that. Which is interesting. I think floor, damn, because it's very hard. I would say conference finals should be the floor.
Yeah. Who would you'd play you'd play the Lakers or Rockets in the damn.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The bracket broke out as perfect as it possibly could, where the 3 teams you don't want to see in the playoffs all play each other.
Yeah.
And we get, I mean, the Rockets are a very fun team for the first Shea to play. They have no one who can stop them. It's nice. So I like that matchup. I think conference finals is probably the floor. I think the Spurs and the Nuggets could definitely beat us, and obviously the Celtics are incredible as well. But I mean, this team, it's not just Shea, which is the reason I picked this team, but it's how deep we are, bro. Like we go, Jared McCain and Aaron Wiggins probably won't get a single playoff minute, or like they'll probably play garbage time only, and those are like 7th, 8th men on like other teams. Like You guys would probably love to have Jared McCain right now.
Yeah.
It would be, and he's not going to see the floor for us, and it's gonna be it's if injuries happen, there's no team besides Shea, there's no team more equipped to deal with it, and there's no team in the league that benefits from the increased physicality in the playoffs and the Thunder, because we play ridiculously physical during the season, and they call a bunch of fouls on us and whatever. But when they stop calling the fouls, bro, I mean, Dort is just gonna do whatever he wants. Like, I'll be honest, like I'm not running away from the fact that like our mentality is that you can't call it all. Like we're gonna continue to play physical and like very disciplined physicality, and there are gonna be fouls. The refs aren't able to call them all.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the ball, we have the best scorer in the NBA and one of the best scorers of all time, who's on his way to like scoring 20 points in 142 straight games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's perfect team building. There's shooting, there's defense, there's offense. I think it would be a shame if we didn't win. We've had a really, really good season, but there are also other really, really good teams. So, floor would be conference finals.
Agreed. I think the same thing for us, conference finals, and then ceiling is like championship. I think like the main thing is like depth. Like in the playoffs, depth really matters. Like again, like your bench doesn't play too many like minutes. You go maybe 7 deep. Your 6th and 7th man is playing like 20 minutes or somewhere along those lines situationally, and then you get an 8th man who probably plays a little bit more. But you guys probably run a little. I would say every now and then, I'll probably bring in a 9th man in my opinion if you need to. But like you're bringing like AJ Mitchell, Alex Caruso, like Cason Wallace, like those kind of players like off the bench. Like those are all like 3 really, really good players. 2 of them are like really good defenders. All 3 of them are really good defenders, and one of them's a great like primary ball handler and a great like scorer as well. So it's a deep team, and then you have like the second best rim protector in the league, or like second or third best rim protector in the league.
We'll just say top 5.
Top 5. And then like if Hartenstein's healthy, like in the playoffs too, like with that physicality, like you said, like the offensive rebounding, that physicality can help a lot on that end. So that's gonna help more. And again, you have Shea, like that's just like who you need. X factor in my opinion is like J-Dub. If J-Dub can get back to what he did like a little bit last playoffs, that'd be pretty cool. It would make it for a lot smoother of a run in my opinion. But again, like if his shot isn't falling and he's struggling a little bit, and you do run into a team like the Nuggets or like the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, and J-Dub's not playing his best, then because of like obviously like injuries and everything, like it's not just because like he's a bad basketball player. He's been injured also. So but like it would make it harder for you guys to win a game. But again, that's where depth comes into play. But like you would rather have J-Dub play 30 minutes than like rotate between Jared McCain and AJ Mitchell. Like that might not be enough. But again, like if there's a team to do it, you guys can do it.
Yeah. I would say AJ is the X factor for me. And the reason is like he had turf toe to end the season last year. So he didn't play in the playoffs at all. He made like 5-6 minutes. And now he's the first man off our bench. He's like, in my opinion, it's actually crazy. Like there's a clear difference when Shea isn't playing. There's a clear difference when Iyer isn't playing. And the third guy for me, there's a clear difference when AJ Mitchell isn't playing. Because that second unit, there is nothing there, bro, without like they're all like standstill shooters, but they can't really create their own offense. But AJ might be the second best finisher in our team. Like he has crazy angles. Like he's a really, really good defender. He's a really, really good ball handler, pretty good passer. Like I think he's a injection of like talent in our team that we didn't have last year, and that teams like people who are analyzing this current Thunder team and comparing to the last one, I think we're a lot better this year, bro. Like I think last year's team, we were way too focused on winning in the regular season and kind of gas us out in the playoffs, which is why we took a lot of series a lot longer to close. But this year, bro, with a little close in the middle, a lot of people were injured, but that also gives them a chance to heal, and rest and stuff. And Shea's like been resting every fourth quarter essentially since the start of March. So it's, to me, this is our best team in the past 3 years. I would be really sad if we didn't win the championship, obviously, but it would be a shame for me.
The only thing is, like, it's the best team, but then I think the West this is probably the best the West has been 100%. Like the last 3 years too. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, but again, you guys are the best team out of the West, so that gives you guys the advantage.
But yeah,
But yeah, I think we're just gonna stick to the West today. If we did the East, our episode would be like an hour long, so we're gonna split it between two episodes, obviously. Season also I think is gonna be done on like Monday or like Sunday or Monday. So
Yeah.
we'll probably do the East episode in the next couple of days, and then come back on and do an episode after the season wraps up to talk about the play-ins and everything and the playoffs, and give you
Mhm.
our like actual predictions of who we think is gonna win like different matchups. But until then, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Off the Dribble Pod, and we will see you guys next episode. Peace.